I had a Zoom meeting a few days ago with a new colleague of mine who is a Disciples of Christ minister at a church in a suburb of Los Angeles. Her name is Pastor Tanya Lopez, and about half of her congregation are immigrants. About a month and a half ago, she was working in her church office when her husband, who also works at the church, alerted her that there was a man being taken into custody in their church parking lot. She rushed outside the building to find a group of unmarked vehicles and unidentified men in street clothing with generic vests that said police. Later on that day, she called the LAPD and they confirmed that these men were not, in fact, Los Angeles policemen. They did not show a warrant when they were asked. They did not respect that this was private church property that they could not be on without a warrant, such as the very property that you and I are at right now. The man who was being abducted looked visibly upset, and Pastor Lopez said to him in Spanish, frantically, what is your name? Tell me your birth date. Who can I call? Who can I call on your behalf? At this point, one of the masked men pointed his weapon at Pastor Lopez, and she defiantly said, "I have a right to be here. I do not have to listen to you. This is the property of the church, Downey Memorial Christian Church, and we are not okay with you being on our property." One of the men who pointed his weapon at her simply said cavalierly, "The whole country is our property." Pastor Lopez then said to the man who she assumed was an immigrant, she said to him as the masked men were putting them in the vehicle, "Don't sign anything, don't tell them anything, I will call and try to find you." And then they disappeared with the terrified man. After Pastor Lopez recalled her harrowing experience with me, I thanked her for advocating for this man. She and I mourned that we will probably never know the fate of the man who has disappeared that day. But I do know this. When that man was in such a vulnerable position with no one else around to advocate for him and his rights, the church showed up.